Here we are, 5 of 5, but that is not a worthy intro. A freaking company that's here to take the industry back. They ain't messing around with mass production. They want stuff made right here in the States by people that give a rip about the products and where the industry is going. They're taking the other path with one mission: to reclaim the radness of the BMX industry. So let's take this ish back with Reclamation. Alright people, Derek here with Bendy Tubes, and that is right, we are video 5 of 5 from the Battleground Diaries. In case you didn't put this together, I got to do a crap ton of interviews and research and connections and such, so though these don't seem related, they are in my book, and that's what matters. Quest, Inertia, The Bikes of Battleground, Bikeography of Brandon Fitton, and finally, Reclamation. Jumping into our muse, Reclamation, they started back in 2013 by Robert Riley and Jake Umberge. I got a chance to chat with Robert at the end of Battleground. Dude is super rad, great chatting with him. And this was an event that Reclamation heavily sponsored. See, it's right here. And anywho, these fine folks are headquartered over in Colorado, and we're just gonna jump right in with the first bike, the SKJ, pronounced Skidge, from 2014. Now you may ask yourself, what is a skidge? It's our founder Robert's made up name instead of saying dude. SKJ stands for Super Kevin Jones, and this was an Ox Platinum having top tube, down tube, double diamond, new school whip. Super detailed write-up on Flatland Fuel, but let's hit the high notes. 19-inch top tube, 19 or 19.5, 75 degree head tube angle, and a 13.5 slam trunk. They made 20 in the USA, they didn't suck, so they kept going. Next, we got the Rogue. Now this is Jason Plord's signature frame, and I should mention the only Reclamation bike that doesn't go by the 3-letter naming convention. Back wheel assassin. Jason's bike has the craziest head tube angle ever, 77.5 degrees, 19-inch top tube. Did I mention it had a 77.5 degree head tube angle, 75 degree seat tube angle, 12 to 13.5 out back, super freaking light, 3.8 pounds, and the most beautiful Ox Platinum Stardust paint job ever. JFB rode it for a while. Man, it's a good looking little bike for sure. Not sure how it rides, but he said it rode well and he loved it, so I believe him. This beauty was fabbed up by the legendary builder John Quartz of FBM Glory. There was another frame that knocked it out of the park with Reclamation in 2015. Here we have the JMC that stands for James McGraw. Another beautiful bent down tube piece of hardware, people. Now, I really don't know that much about it, from dims and weights, anything about that, other than it existed, and it has a long rear end. But seriously, rad frame. I remember seeing James shred this thing for years, and I had no idea what it was, so it's cool to put that connection together. Now, this bike first popped on the scene around 2014 or 2015 as a special order, and that is the CIK, or Chase is King. Super rad twin top tuber, well ahead of the other retro recreations of the time. But after 10 years, Robert got the band back together to hit some of the greatest hits, and the CIK was on the playlist. Come 2023, 2024, 10 years, 10 frames, 19-inch top tube, super freaking clean bike, people. There aren't going to be many references, unfortunately, about this, but really good looking modern nostalgic build. I mean, just look at it. The next bike in the Reclamation stable comes with a little bit of backstory. Now, Reclamation is huge in getting their riders out there on the road and promoting and competing in the sport as well. Look at JFB's Reclamation van. They had sponsored Dave Norrie, yes, the Dave Norrie, for 5 years prior to 2023. Helped him travel, do shows, do jams, stuff like that. Robert came to the realization Dave wasn't riding any Reclamation parts, so he sought to fix that. 2023, they began tinkering. 2024, they presented Dave with the prototype DNE or Dave Nori Edition. 75-degree head tube angle, 19-inch top tube, 13 out back. Geometry was that of the old masters. Chainstay mounted brakes, even a coaster brake tab. This bike is so rad. Another John Quartz build. They made 15 initially, sold out, and have dropped a second batch of 50. Those first 15 even got a swag pack with stuff like shoes and grips and laces. Y'all, if you got one of those, I'm mad jealous. Seeing Dave shred this thing as an absolute icon of our sport in person is all that is good in the world, and he's got great fashion sense clearly here. Beyond the double diamond and twin top tubers, we get an absolute banger of a bike. The Reclamation FRE or Flatland rules everything. This is a prototype for none other than JFB, and y'all, JFB has popped up in so many videos from the Battleground Diaries, from Odyssey to Quest to the Bikes of Battleground, and here with the Rogue FRE. Man, keep it up, JFB. Keep riding, man. Big fan over here at Bendy Tubes. But back to the bike. This beautiful frame has a 19.3-inch top tube, perfect 74.5-degree head tube angle, and y'all, this is all titanium. This is such a dope piece of kit. Look at that down tube, paying homage to the GTs back in the day. Slammed 12.6 rear end. This thing is so insane. So beautiful. Potentially 2 versions to come out whenever it goes to production, steel and titanium for all you rippers out there, but there's more to come. I cannot wait to see this bike in the streets. And yo, this thing looks so good built up with those prototype TI forks and the JFB TI handlebars, which is a segue. Reclamation has some dope bars, people. So many good designs from the years. OG 4-piece bars, the Rue bars, the Jason Plord MFK bars, the Dub bars in steel and titanium, and finally the JFB Juicy bars, again in steel or titanium. All dialed, all dope, all great things. And I think they might be made by Dylan Worsley over at We Bicycles. I'm not 100% sure. But I also mentioned in one of the previous videos of Inertia that Robert gave Lee Musselwhite a frame. It is this one, black, Ox Platinum, double diamond, super dope. Lee Musselwhite, signature-ish frame from Reclamation. So thanks for sharing, Lee, on your Instagram channel. And finally, if you're like, oh man, Reclamation does more than just Flatland. Yeah, you're right. They do. Troy McMurray, formerly of S&M, and Fred run the park and dirt side, while JFB and Robert run the flat side. Bikes like the UFO are in their roster for park and dirt, so shout out there. Now, depending on how far back you want to scroll on Facebook, Reclamation had a pretty rich history and a big old bag of shredders. From Robert to Jake to Steve Lapsley, Brian Huffman, Manny Noguera, Jason Rideout, Jason P, James McGraw, Dub, JFB, y'all, tons of names in our tiny little club of Flatland. Plus, quick reminder, Steve Lapsley is the conduit between Reclamation and Quest. A lot of Reclamation people rode Quest bits. And that's it. Reclamation bikes, people, they are making some unique frames in this double diamond era, going against the grain of the industry with some legit Riz. Great company, on point mission and execution, making sure dudes like Dub and JFB and Dave can hit the road and compete and do shows and keep growing the sport. Hats off to this organization, all they do for Flatland. Cheers, Reclamation, and all involved. Derek, Bendy Tubes, we're out of here.